The Middle Ages have long served as an inspiration for RPGs. More often than not, that inspiration has been limited to a fantasy realm. The influence is there in fantasy, of course, however, there are but a few that have a real historical context. Kingdom Come Deliverance aims to not only tell a historical tale, but also how players interact with that world in an accurate way as well. We're all used to playing the powerful hero in RPGs, but how about the not-so-powerful son of a blacksmith? The story in Kingdom Come Deliverance is set in Bohemia. After the death of Charles IV, his son Winslow IV inherited the throne. Unfortunately, his nickname was well-earned and his half-brother Sigismund took advantage and kidnapped him. This left Sigismund free to loot and pillage Bohemia as he wished. Caught up in the chaos is Henry, the son of a blacksmith who finds himself facing down an unexpected raid of his hometown. Barely managing to escape with his life, Henry comes into the service of Lord Radzig. However, this service will put Henry in the midst of the battle for the future of Bohemia. Overall, the story is quite grand and mostly unfolds in some rather exciting and occasionally unexpected ways. The cinematic scenes can be truly epic at times and aided by generally superb visuals. These moments will keep you going further and further, yet often it's those unexpected moments that are the most memorable. When's the last time an RPG had you go throw crap at someone's house? Who knew that gaining the trust of a priest involved both of you drinking the night away? Getting in a fistfight with authorities? Ringing the church bells in the middle of the night? Some hanky-panky with barmaids, then finally delivering a sermon for him the next morning, still drunk while in your underwear? The kind of story Kingdom Come Deliverance aims to tell can easily veer towards being a bore, but moments like these keep everything interesting. It's not an entirely perfect story either. Historically, everything may be in order, but things teeter on the edge of dragging from time to time. Most notably, the beginning left a lot to be desired. The dialogue goes a long way to keep the story interesting and the world is immersive. After the opening credits, the characters do a reasonably good job of relaying information to you naturally without it sounding like a history lesson. In the opening act, however, many felt like they were merely name-dropping historical points you needed to know or just straight up giving you that lesson. It's not the best of first impressions. It took me a good 7 hours to get through that first part to even see the opening credits, but after that things got much better. Though that first part of the game does do a good job of highlighting some of the issues with Kingdom Come. Chief among them, why did it take me 7 hours to get through the beginning? Essentially, it all has to do with the game save mechanic. The game does save on its own, at the completion of a quest, after sleeping, or with a save your schnapps drink. But the first quest contains quite a few parts, including some long dialogue scenes in nearly all of them, not to mention a fight. There's no time for sleeping and you can't afford to buy the special game saving booze either. It wouldn't be bad if the game saved after each quest goal was completed, but it doesn't. Only after total completion, and that means you need to make sure you have enough time to do it all in one sitting. The start of the game was really the only place I had this issue. There was simply no way to save without completing everything. I'm still not crazy about how the game saves elsewhere, but it's far more manageable to do so later on. Near the beginning, there's also a sense of some more of these problems that rear their ugly head. This time, it's more of a geometry problem. Once Henry gets to Townburg, there are plenty of tight walkways around the keep. Guards, of course, cause an issue as there isn't much room to get around them and they occasionally linger in doorways you're trying to use. Then there's odd spots here and there that should be passable, but they're not. One set of stairs just wouldn't let me pass, no matter where I went or even jumped. In a game world this big, there are bound to be spots like this missed, but this seemed like an area it ought not happen. The beginning felt far rougher around the edges than the rest of the world though, something that came to light once I finally moved on. Speaking of moving on, let's talk about that authenticity the game strives for in its main character Henry. The son of a blacksmith is no soldier, and the fighting system helps solidify that notion. It's not just hack and slash, but rather an intricate dance of timing, positioning, and aiming. At first, the fights seem as though they may grow dull and rather basic, but as proficiency grows, so too does your repertoire. While Henry does get better, he still can't deal with every challenge alone. Just like in real life, taking on a gang of thugs solo isn't such a great idea. Stealth is one option to even the odds if there's no backup, and the other is ranged attacks. Not being one for stealth, I opted for range. Shooting a bow is no easy task in Kingdom Come, but like with all things, it does get easier with practice. To start, just hitting a target is no small achievement. The game makes it hard to get a sense of exactly where your arrow is pointing. Plan on missing quite a few for a while. An early game hunting trip offers up some good practice, so make full use of it. That realism isn't contained to just the combat either. Henry must eat and sleep just like a real boy would. I could take or leave those two things and still be alright if I'm honest. Tiredness though does have an effect on one other large aspect of the game, and that's in the dialogue. Perceptions matter. If you're sleepy or drunk, you can get swindled out of trying to make a deal. Cleanliness matters too. It's hard to impress a noble when you're covered in blood, mud, and sweat. There are many variables involved, and even if it might not seem that it's that deep at first, there's lots of layers beyond just what you say that matters. With all the emphasis on realism, Kingdom Come needs to look and sound the part as well. Overall, the visuals and sounds are superb. Many of the characters are downright stunning, especially in cutscenes, but there is some unevenness. All characters are voiced quite well. but often the mouths don't seem to sync up properly with what's being said.
Then who are you?
Not all character models are created equally either. While not always noticeable when standing next to one that is highly polished, it really stands out. Weapon sounds can be grand, the hard clash of iron on iron, but a wooden club still makes the sound of a sword when clanging together. The tunes, on the other hand, are a pure delight. Rousing and fun, they help maintain that proper atmosphere and add to the overall immersion. Altogether, Kingdom Come Deliverance is quite the enjoyable epic journey, warts and all. When realism is the aim, it's hard not to notice imperfections. We do live in the real world, so it's hard not to compare. But all the little imperfections don't keep this from being one heck of a great ride. The story alone is 50 hours of gameplay, and overall there's around 100 hours of quests to complete. There's a lot there. I couldn't help but be reminded of the first time I played Elder Scrolls Arena 20 plus years ago. The sense of scale and that awe of something you weren't expecting to be so grand. The games, of course, are light years apart, but there is that bit of a magic touch to the feeling while playing it that takes me back. If you're an RPG fan in the least, this is something well worth your time. So, if you're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance, let us know your thoughts down below. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to COGconnected for all things gaming, and for news, reviews, features, and more, visit us online at COGconnected.com.